Taking out a store credit card with a 27% interest rate, that's bad.
That's how we do it in the South.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to Rabbit's Used Cars. You know, I tell you, the story today was not really a story. This is actually just some good food for thought. You know, I don't dive into several things on ventures like this. I'm a firm believer in keeping, politics and your love life as private as humanly possible. And so, I don't dig into this stuff. But when I see trouble on the horizon, I love to give my opinion and maybe even give a little security to some of you guys out there, because I got a lot of guys that are watching this channel that are entrepreneurs or that own small business, and it's concerning. I mean, it's concerning to me, some of the things that are going on. I mean, inflation is insane right now. The price of goods have gone through the roof, and if you blame it on COVID or you blame it on the president or you blame it on whatever, it don't matter. It's happening. So what do you do to fight this? Well, I think before we can talk about what we do to fight it, the best way to do is explain what it is, period, and how the economy works in general. And keep in mind, I'm not, some world-class economist. I've never claimed to be any of these things. I've always claimed myself to be a good businessman. I've always been able to make a dollar no matter what the economic climate is. You think about it, I've been doing this a long time. I didn't start in sales 2 years ago. I've been doing this about 20 years. And actually a little longer than that. So I never claimed to be, some political or economic guru, but I think a lot of times this is a common sense subject more than a what you know kind of thing. And I tell you, take you back to high school economics class, and that was one of my favorite subjects, hands down, in school, is economics. Matter of fact, it's the only class I ever made an A in high school. But the economy is like a swimming pool. And, at the deep end of a swimming pool. And you are out in the middle of this pool. And let's say that inflation makes this pool deeper and deeper and deeper. Well, you're out here and you're swimming. You're treading water, but you're staying afloat. This is the problem. And this is what causes market crashes, is when people stop spending or when you get a phone call. Is when you stop spending. So what happens when you stop treading water, when you stop swimming? Well, you start sinking. And that's what causes recessions, and that's what causes economic crashes like in '08 and so on and so forth. This is the thing, people get nervous and they stop spending money. They stop swimming. And when you stop spending money, prices of everything is going up, and they're thinking in their mind that saving money is the way to go. Not really, because you got to think about it. The dollar is actually worth less and less and less. So that $20 you saved, 10 years ago is not the same $20 today. And so saving in the short term, yes, is fine. Long term, you need to do something with your money. You got to have activity. You got to swim with this money. And now you got to invest it wisely. Whether, you want to invest in a property, or you want to invest in a car, or you want to invest in anything. You got to understand, when you're buying these things, you're keeping the economy rolling. And this is what gets you out of a recession. This is what gets you out of an economic decline. So, that's the thing that concerns me is, with the prices of everything going up, you got to understand, you got to think a gallon of milk 10 years ago was $1.50. Well, now that same gallon of milk is $6. Well, that $20 you saved 10 years ago would buy a $1.50 gallon of milk. Hell, you could buy, 10, 12 gallons of milk. Now, that same $20 buys 3 gallons of milk. That's the problem. That's the problem with saving, because the economy and the prices of things are going to outgrow your saving. And I mean, everybody's like, well, my checking account or this CD draws interest. Yeah, that interest, you got to understand, they're playing with your money and they're giving you a small piece of it, so you'll leave it in there. So at the end of the day, the only people that are really making money off of savings accounts and CDs, in my opinion, are the people that are using them. because they're using that to make money. Hence why how the economy works. You got to spend money to make this economy work. And you got to think about it. We're all spokes in a wheel, and you start leaving spokes out of that wheel. Next thing you know, we start getting wobbly. Next thing you know, we get off track. You got to keep spending money, and that's the thing I stress to people all the time. Is people, when they get worried, they stop spending, and it blows my mind. That's another thing. It's like an election year, and it's so funny. Every time around election time, business slows down, and I've never understood why. Like, the need for product hasn't stopped, the need for whatever, but everybody's worried to death. I've never made enough money in my life where the president really dictated how much money I was going to make. At the end of the day, I mean, yeah, some have better ideas than others, some don't, whatever. But at the end of the day, the economy still works basically the same way. And you can't stop spending because of this. You can't let fear that you're watching the news. Oh, this is coming. Interest rates are going up. So everybody stops buying. Well, I don't want to pay these high interest rates, so I'm going to stop buying. In the grand scheme of things, what's a few more dollars in a payment to purchase something you want at the end of the day, or something you need, instead of holding on to your money or not buying anything at all and being stagnant? All it is this thing you're going to buy is going to get more and more expensive. And yeah, the interest rate will eventually come down, but by the time the interest rate comes down, guess what? You're paying the difference in whatever the product was to begin with, because it's went up in price. And not always the case, but more times than not. I stress to people all the time that are really concerned about interest rates, and within reason, yes. Taking out a store credit card with a 27% interest rate, that's bad. If you could have had a 4.5% interest rate a year ago, and now it's 6%, and I'm not buying because of a point and a half, I think that's a little silly. To be honest with you, at the end of the day, one, you can always refinance, but this is the thing. I mean, really and truthfully, you're letting a point and a half in an interest rate affect you buying your dream home. You're letting this put your dream on hold, or you're letting this put, at the end of the day, is it really making that big of a difference? And there again, if you wait, just like these old cars. I mean, I'm looking at the back end of this Chevelle right now. I remember when that was a $15,000 car. It just sold in the high 30s. This is the thing. These things are getting more expensive. And holding on to your credit, holding on to your dollars, isn't going to save the economy. It's making it worse. So the best way to fight fire is with fire. You've got to go out. You got to spend some money. You can't stop, because when you stop, all you're going to do is make it worse. Just think about it. Anytime you get to think about it, use that pool reference. You're sitting there in that pool. You know what happens when you stop this, you just do this, you drowned. And that's something we don't want, kids. A little food for thought. Take it for what it is. Right here at the RUC. Guys, we'll catch you next time here at Rabbit's Used Cars.